So if you would join me on this slide deck, open up a new tab and go to bit.ly/justgifit. And that's a capital J, capital G, and a capital I. So just GIF it. All right, now wait for y'all to do that. It's kind of important for you to have these notes. So it's also kind of important to just kind of follow along with me if you can. I know with Zoom it's a little bit different following along, but we'll go with it the best we can here. All right, I'll also put that in the chat. bit.ly/just-GIF-it. And I'll also grab this because that may be a little bit easier too, because it just is. So here we go. This will be clickable, hopefully. There you go. That's a clickable link for you. All right, now we're popping in here. Yep, good deal. All right, so let's talk about GIFs a little bit. Well, first, you know who I am. We've Zoomed way too much time together. I mean, I know you're tired of seeing this mug shot, but here I am. This is my email address. Find me when you have questions. Feel free to reach out to me, and hopefully I can answer those and give you some good advice. So I'm glad you're here. Glad you can make it, and we'll keep on going. So first, I love this guy. He is on the History Channel. And he is just great. And so I got a little clip from him saying something, but he really didn't say it. I thought it was funny. He always says things are created by aliens, but I love that because he doesn't change what he's saying. I mean, even if he could prove it differently, he's always going to say, oh, it's created by aliens. So if you're ever on the History Channel, look this guy up. All right, let's talk about GIFs and GIFs. It doesn't matter to me. It stands for Graphic Interchange Format. Anyway, GIF. So if you want to say GIF today or GIF day, I don't really care. It's up to you. I really like this girl right here playing a judge. Maybe she's a real judge, who knows? But she has GIF and she's doing a little clap and a GIF with a hard pound of the gavel. So awesome. All right, let's go. Now, some of you may remember this, but some of you are probably way too young to remember this, but I remember it, and it was the first GIF that I remember seeing, and that was Clippy. And Clippy was the Microsoft Office assistant. And whenever you had a question or something, you could ask Clippy, and sometimes Clippy would help you, and sometimes Clippy would just lead you astray and leave you stranded. Anyway, I love finding these. I was looking for the little dog one. If you ever see that, please point it out to me or send me a link to the dog, because I think it's called Power Pup, but I haven't seen it in a while. All right, so let's get into this. So I'm going to show you today an easy way to get some GIFs. I'm also going to show you a way to create GIFs using slide decks, and something that you can bring with your kids and some ideas that you can have for assignments and things that they can do in class as well. We will go from the very simple to the somewhat elaborate when we use these today. So just hang on. It's going to be a good ride. Just hang on with me. But first, I want to take you into Giphy.com. This is probably the easiest way for you to find GIFs besides searching the internet. You can do a Google search, and it's gotten a little bit better with GIFs. I oftentimes just go to Giphy because it's just a little bit easier. Now, I will say this, and I didn't put this in the notes, that when you're looking for GIFs, I would look for PNG, that's the type you want, and transparent. So if I was going to go to Google and look for an animated GIF, maybe, maybe Scooby-Doo, just like we saw there, I would type in GIF and then animated, possibly, and then also transparent if I want a transparent background. So just kind of limit your search to what you want, and then go to images and see what they have out there. And then some of these backgrounds may be transparent, some of them may not. And again, you probably do the same thing when you're looking just for a picture, not an animated GIF. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's open up Giphy.com. I'm going to show you Giphy.com. All right, so on my slide deck, you're going to notice that some of these say staff use. The reason being is because Giphy is not entirely appropriate for our kiddos, and we always want to keep them safe. So when you go to Giphy, you're going to find some that are not necessarily the best things to show in your classroom. But I'm just going to show you a simple way to download some of these. Let's say I want to do a search for Seinfeld. Show. And we'll just find a couple of those that we like. I'll look at this one. This was pretty good with George. So we'll just click on that. And this is how you're going to download it and use it inside your slide deck. Okay. Also, you can use it in Sites. I go right here to copy link. And then I choose the GIF link. Okay. There's a short link. There's an HTML5 video link. I don't want that. I just want the GIF link. So I click right here. And I can do a copy right there. And notice it says copy to the clipboard. Then I can come right back to whatever slide I want to put that in. And I'm going to go right here to insert and then go to image and then choose by URL. If you haven't done that before, that's something that's really a game changer for you because you don't have to download it to your computer. It's great for Chromebooks because they don't like things to be downloaded so much. So I'm just going to click on the URL and then I'm going to do a Control V and paste it in there and then hit insert. And that's about as easy as you can get here. Now, I do want to show you this. Sometimes if maybe the GIF has white space around it, and the ones that we create today will have white space, maybe I don't want that watermark on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and double click on this. And notice it goes to the cropping. So you can crop your GIFs. So if I want to move that up just a little bit to get rid of that watermark and then press enter, now the watermark is gone and I can enlarge that and do what I want with it. So it acts just like a regular picture when you want to crop it, really easy to do. So one more time, let's go back here. Let's do the Hunger Games. That's always safe to do. And let's see, we'll do the classic. Do that one right there. Again, all you have to do is go to copy link, copy that link right there. It's pasted. Go back to where your slide deck is. Go over here to insert, image, and then go down to my URL. Okay, and I'll paste it in there. And that's really easy for us to do. Okay, all done. All right, so that's how you can use Giphy. Now, I'm going to show you a couple other ways to use Giphy as well. One thing that you can do is you can create your own GIF from pictures that you have. So I have in storage, which is on my desktop, I have a folder. And by the way, these are all the directions. Okay, you can read those on your own time. We have lots to do, so you can read later. Okay, so let's go back to my desktop here. And on it, I have a folder. And inside, I have a bunch of pictures. And let me drag that over so you can see it. Okay, just different pictures. I numbered them so I could kind of track for myself. This is Anakin, who's Darth Vader. If you haven't been watching Star Wars, that's probably a spoiler alert, I'm sorry. But we start with Anakin as a little boy, and then he grows into Darth Vader. So it's like a chronological time period showing Anakin as he's growing up. All right, so what I want to do is I want to create a GIF out of that. So let's go back here. And so I can go back to Giphy. Click here first. And this time, instead of just searching for one, I'm going to go over here to create. And I'm going to create a GIF. So there's a bunch you could do, a bunch of things you could do here. I'm going to show you the URL one in just a second. But I'm going to go to choose file. And then it actually went back to my folder that I had open, so that's cool. So I'm going to choose the first one and then click open. And then notice right here, it says add more images. So I'm going to click on add more images. And where'd it go? Uh-oh. Let's go back here. Try that again. hit the plus button here. Okay, well, let's see. It is supposed to add more images, and I just tried that just recently, so that's a bummer. Oh, here it is. Okay, I'm sorry. Go right here to Browse Files. I was thinking it's going to pop up right here. So go right here to Browse Files, and then you can select all of the rest of the pictures that I had. So I can select all 5 of those at once, click on Open, and now they all pop up. Now, this image duration is really important. You can see right here that it's kind of flipping pretty slowly. I probably want it to pick up the pace a little bit. So I'm going to speed this up to about 0.7 if I can. And I like that speed. It's just a good flash, pretty good, you know, that your brain can keep up with it and your eyes are saying, oh, okay, I get it right now. And a nice, notice how it takes all those pictures, puts them in the same space. And I have about 7 seconds there, 0.7 seconds, and that looks pretty good to me. If I didn't want one of these pictures to show, I could just click the X and it would be gone. So I'm going to go right here to continue to decorate. And you can put in a caption here. You can choose what font you want. There's GIF It and memes. I'm going to stick with the meme here. And I'm just going to type in Anakin Darth. And I can move that around. I can change the colors, do whatever I want. Teal blue might be a pretty good color there. Okay, and I can do a few more things. I can make that sparkle. I can make it rainbow. That's perfect for Darth because he's very, very friendly. I can make it wavy and so forth, or I can just choose none. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit more and go to continue to upload. And I don't choose anything here. I just leave this on for public because I can get that GIF and use it later. So I'm going to go right here to upload to Giphy. And by the way, as a teacher, you're going to need to create an account for this. Okay. Again, we're not pointing our kids here. We can point staff here because we can make good choices on our own. All right, so it's creating the GIF. And now I can go to copy link, just like we did before, and grab that link and copy it. And then go back to my presentation. And I can go to insert image by URL again, paste it in there. And we'll go to insert, and there we have it. All right, so pretty easy to do. I like it how it sizes all the images to be the same size. There's no white space around the borders or anything like that. Looks pretty good. All right, let's check out another one. All right, this is if you have a short video. Actually, it could be a long video. It's just going to be a little bit harder. I'm on my computer at home, and sometimes my laptop drags a little bit. So this one's a little bit more beefed up. So if you're doing this on a Chromebook, it may really drag it down quite a bit. But what I did was this. I went to YouTube. I'll bring this over here. And I found, I just want to find a safe video to share with you guys. So this one is Obama when he's at the Correspondence Dinner in 2016. But he does a mic drop, which I thought was really funny. So I'm going to show it to you real quick. And just play this little clip. This is like 1:37, but I'm just going to play this to where it's about 1:15.
This, the last time we'll see him, a stand-up in chief.
Obama out.
Yeah, so I wanted to capture that moment where he drops the mic and make that a GIF. So I'm going to go back here to Giphy, back to the home page. And by the way, these are things I'm showing you, right now. You're going to have a few minutes later on to create and choose and try some of these out. These are just different ways to get things done here. So I'm going to go to create, and I needed to copy that link. I forgot to do that. So go back to YouTube, copy that link, and I clicked on create. And then down here where it says any URL right here, I'm going to paste that in there. And it brings up that video in its entirety. Okay. Now, the duration is how long your GIF is going to last. Okay, how long, how many seconds. You have a maximum of 15 seconds here. So I'm going to shorten that and play with it a little bit. But here's my start time. So this is my start time and where the video is starting. It's starting at the beginning right here. So I'm going to slide this down. And remember, it was about 1:22. So let's see what that looks like. That's 1:14. And see how the duration looks here. So he's not dropping the mic yet. So I need to slide it a little bit more. And I want that wave to be the last part where he's about to walk out. That's too much. I don't want to see the crowd. So I'm going to back it up a little bit. All right, and that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to slide this just a little bit here, make it a little bit shorter. And again, you're going to have to play with it a little bit because this is creation. You're creating things here. So now I'm going to go to continue to decorate. I'm happy with where that is. And I'm going to add a meme. And this took a little bit of time earlier when I tried this today. It's just kind of dancing around there. So I'll go ahead and type in what my meme is going to be. It's when you add jokes. Let's go ahead and wait for this. Now, there's some other things you can do here. While that's loading, we'll just talk about them. You can add stickers. There's a bunch of stickers you can add to pretty it up. You can add some different filters. And one of them is the black and white filter, which later on, I'm going to show you something where that's a good thing to think about. And you can also draw on it. Now, I'm not going to put any of these on there because if I add one and I click start over, it starts all over, which I don't like. So I'd have to go back and resize the video and frame it and all that. So I'm going to go back here to caption. And I'm just going to use this meme for when you have jokes. And I'm going to cover up that last laugh a little bit. And now I'm going to scroll down and continue to upload. And again, I'm just going to make this public. I'm going to upload a GIF. I don't have to put any of these in here. And so now it's going to upload. It's thinking about it, creating your GIF. All right, still creating here. All right. Okay, so again, copy link, copy the GIF link, and go back to my presentation. And I'm going to paste that right. No, I'm not going to paste that. I'm going to go to insert image by URL. I forgot what I was doing for a second there. We'll paste that in there and then go to insert. Now, if you noticed, all of these that I just created, there's a copy of most of those. Like there's the Darth Vader one, there's the Obama one. Because if it didn't work, I want you to see what it looked like. Because, you know, sometimes when you're training, things just don't work. And this is going to work, so it's all good. Now, notice this one is different. This was staff use, right? All that was staff use because we're using Giphy.com. This is using a slide deck. I'm going to show you how to do this so you can use it with your kids. What we're going to use for it is actual creation stuff like a Google slide deck and talltweets.com. Now, I learned this from Eric Kurtz. Eric Kurtz is a great Google guru, really nice guy. I've talked to him a couple of times at conferences. I follow his site religiously because he comes up with really good stuff. His site is controlaltachieve.com. controlaltachieve.com. Look for it, find it, and you'll find some good things. We have people in the waiting room. I gotta let them in. All right, come on in, people. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this works. And I'm going to use a simple example of how this works. So let me do this. I'm going to create a new slide deck. So go over here and create a new one. I'll drag one over for you. Sure. Let's see. All right. Now, there's a couple things that, you know, I've just kind of learned along the way. I'm going to go ahead and start this one. So first I'm going to title this. So this is GIF trees demo. Okay. And first of all, you can go layout here and get a blank layout for your slide. And I'm going to use some trees here. So let's see if I can make this faster because I have to do things fast sometimes. Let's see. I'll put that over there, see if it'll snap. Nope, it's not going to. So here's my tree pictures. And I like that a little bit smaller here, besides that. Hopefully I'm not making you all too confused or sick by moving around so quickly. But I'm going to see if I can just drag that tree and put it right in here. Yep, that's pretty good. And notice this though. The tree, I can resize it, but I probably want this to be, I don't know, maybe a little bit more squarish, because right now I'm going to have some white, and I don't want that white to show. So I could stretch the tree out, but you don't want to do that because it's going to be not proportional anymore. So what you can do is go to File here and go down to Page Setup. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little bit more square, okay? So I'm going to try to take off some of that width. So I go to File, and you'll have to show your kids this too, because they want theirs to look good, and this is how, it's going to help them make it a little bit better. So I think this is right now a widescreen. I'm going to go to standard 4:3 ratio, which is like the old full size when you're playing a DVD or something. But you can also go to like custom, and you can change it to whatever size you want. If you want it to be like a paper size, like notebook paper size, you can do 8.5 by 11 inches. If you want to do something cool with pixels, you can make this into pixels. I'm not that cool of a guy, so I'm just going to keep it as the 4:3. So here we go. Go to File, Page Setup, and we'll change this to 4:3 and apply. Okay, and now when I click on that, I get it to be a little bit closer, and that's pretty good. Okay, so now it has some white at the top, white at the bottom, but that's okay. All right, so let's do the others. So let's go to Insert, some new slides here. And I'm going to change that to blank, and then I'll just copy this, copy and paste it. All right, then I'm going to grab each of my trees and, oops, got ahead of myself. Click on the right one, and grab my tree. And click on this one, and grab my tree, put it in there. And then right here for the last one, put tree 2. Okay, then I'm going to close this out, make this bigger so you can see a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to resize each one of these so they have a little bit of a gap at the top. Now, again, you can change this up a little bit more and make it a little bit more perfect. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to play with it here and, just get it done, okay? So we're going to see all the seasons of the trees, the 4 seasons, and that's going to be our cyclical GIF that we have that shows the seasons of the trees. Now, so this is all done. I need to remember this. The name of this file is GIF Trees Demo. Now, what your students will do after they have created all their slides, and there's some different ways to create, I just use pictures here, they're going to go to talltweets.com. So again, it's called talltweets.com. Now, they can use the Creator Studio, which is an add-on, which I'll show you in just a minute, or they can use the Select Presentation with the Tall Tweets Classic. I prefer the Classic because it gives you better resolution. And I'll let you see that in just a moment. So I'm going to click right here where it says Select Presentation. Ooh, time is flying. Wow. All right, it's going to bring up all my presentations. And hopefully my most recent presentation will show up right here. Okay, it's pretty good at that. So hopefully it's good on that today. All right, there it is. It's GIF Trees Demo. So I click on it, go to Select. All right, so I'll scroll down a little bit. So what it's doing is it's just showing that first picture that I have, and it's asking you some information here. So it wants the image width. Now, you can play with this quite a bit, but I think that 800 is a safe bet. You know, back in the day, you had like 600 by 800 pixels, and that was like the regular size of a screen. And I think that would work pretty well on a Chromebook, because the screen size of a Chromebook is a little bit smaller than probably what you stare at from day to day. Now, you may want to change that to maybe 1,000, but for your kiddos, I would go with 800. Now, the slide duration, remember with the Anakin to Darth, I think I chose 0.7. This one, I might want to be, a little bit slower, just so they can see the leaves a little bit better and a little bit more detail. So I might do something like 1.1 seconds. And then if you have the slides in a different order, then you can change the order here. But I don't need to do that because it can go right by the order that I have, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Create GIF, and it's going to think. All right, and so now it's showing my GIF. If I'm not happy with the time, for the rotation, then I can change that right here and hit Create GIF again. But I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to Save right here. So it's downloading it. It downloaded it to my computer. It'll also download to a Chromebook. Okay. And so now I'm going to go back to my presentation and go to that slide deck right there. And I can just bring that on in. Okay, I can just slide it right up in there. And if I didn't, have that way to do that, again, I can go to Insert, Image, find it on my computer, and then bring it in that way. Now, I'm going to use that little trick that I taught you earlier. I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to crop it so I can get rid of that white bar. Okay, crop, whoops, try that again. You have to get it right on the crop marker to do it right. Okay, I did that one right. Let's see if I can do the bottom one right. Okay, yep, I can. So now I'm going to press Enter. And now I don't have any white bars showing. So there we have it. And that's a nice little feature that the kids can do if they're doing, maybe butterflies, seeing how they change and go through metamorphosis and all that. They could do different cycles in science. They can do pictures if they want to, showing growth, all kinds of different things. All right. Now, this is going to be, I think I'm going to use the same thing just so you can see it a little bit differently. Now, they can also use the Creator Studio add-on. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my GIF Trees demo. Okay, and this was it. And you can go to add-ons, and students can do this. I think this would be great for maybe our youngest students, so they don't have to go to tall tweets and all that. It's just a little bit easier. So let's go here. And I've already added it, but if you haven't, you can go to Get Add-ons and find it, and just add it to your Google slide deck. So I'm going to go to Creator Studio, and I'm going to go to Create GIF. So it's working. And over here, let me move that out of the way here. Let me close that so you can see a little bit more of the picture. You can choose the output width. So I'm going to choose 800 and see if that works. The interval that I used before, I think, was like 1.1 seconds. Okay. And then you can choose how you want this to be, what format you want. I want it to be an animated GIF. So I'm going to press Go here. All right, it says render completed. And it should pop up that it is saved to my computer in just a second. Oh, wait, I got to do one more thing. It rendered it. You got to click on this little arrow here. So click on the arrow to download to your computer. And now it's right there. Okay, so this is the one that I just created with Creator Studio. Let's go back here. And you know what? I'm going to put those side by side for a comparison, just so you can see the difference. So that's the one that I created with tall tweets. I'm going to bring this one in. And you can't see much difference there. So that's cool. That's fine. I'll show you one that you can see a little bit difference in. So it does a pretty good job. Again, I can take out the white by just cropping this image. Okay, did a pretty good job. So I'm going to skip through these next two because that's pretty much the same thing I was showing you. So I made one that was really kind of complicated. I spent way too much time on it at home. Just a ridiculous amount of fun for me. But anyway, I kind of do that sometimes. But I wanted to show you the difference, and maybe you can see that in just a second. So I'm going to go to present mode here. And this first one, that's just the image, okay? So this first one is Creator Studio. If you notice, I think it's a little fuzzy around the edges. Okay, you may not be able to see that in Zoom. Let's look at the other one. This is the one I use with tall tweets. So if you can see that, you know, this one's a little fuzzy. Tall tweets is a little bit more clear. Okay, so for our older kids, I think we definitely need to use tall tweets because we get a better GIF out of it all around. But just so you can see that comparison. All right, so where can you use animated GIFs? So I'm going to show you some examples here, some ideas. You all probably already have some ideas. This is from LaDonna Porter. She is a teacher over at Beaumont Middle School. She's a PE teacher. And she did some examples to show kids how to use, how to make the different moves in volleyball and also format in the way that you should be rolling a bowling ball. So I'm going to show you those, and those examples are right here for you all to check out. So here we go with volleyball. Let's scroll down here a little bit. So she has these GIFs here that shows the kids how to do different things with a volleyball. Pretty easy. She doesn't have to go through the process of showing the same child, you know, the same thing like we've all done before. And most of the kids can just look a couple times and get the idea. All right, so let's look here again. Yep, so that's it. So that was just for volleyball. And let me show you the one for bowling. So she's showing a process, showing a way that they should be using to train for volleyball. And right here, they're going to show you the format of how to actually roll a bowling ball correctly. Now, she made this into a quiz, which is pretty cool. So here they have a GIF, and she asked them a question. Here's the answers and so forth. Not sure how she recorded those answers, but that would have been simple to just go ahead and give them a piece of paper, you know, since we're back in school, and say, number 4, tell me what the answer is. Now, I like this one down here, especially because this is where it shows the correct approach. Now, I don't know which one is correct, but still, the students would know that because they've been taught how to do it, and they can choose which one is correct. Here, just a handhold. So these are all simple GIFs that kids can make, that you all can make, and then you can make it into a quiz or some kind of just document to show kids how to do things correctly. Okay. All right, let's look here. Here's some other ideas. I love the little math ones because it makes a lot more sense than just showing a static figure. But you can find a lot of those at the mathwarehouse.com. That's a good place to start. All right, I'm going to show you some templates that I just love. And I've shown this probably in another PD that I've done. But all of these, it's just a template that is a Google Slide Deck template. And the person who made it, I give him credit down here, is Ryan O'Donnell. He does a great job with it. And I'm going to open up the first one. It's a Harry Potter newspaper. And I was just fascinated when I watched Harry Potter for the first time and saw those images move. It was crazy. I'm like, what a great idea. So here what the kids can do, they can make a copy of this. They can change all of this text. They can put in their own image. And this right here is just a YouTube video. Okay. So they can play that. I'm going to stop that though. So they can choose a YouTube video, size it into the slide deck, and then they can actually add animated GIFs as needed. Okay. So all of those help explain what's going on in the story, even though there's not any real words here. Now I took this, and some of you know that I like Star Wars a little bit. So I created a Star Wars example. And I added a YouTube video here. I added 2 GIFs that I found right here. And with it, I made a story. I talked about Master Yoda leading a promising group of younglings this year. And then the conflict between Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's legendary. So something easy for the kids to do. Maybe they could do it in groups. Maybe one student does this part right here, another student does this. They can share this out and do it as a group project. A lot of fun. I like the color. And also noted when we did the Giphy, remember there was a filter that made things black and white. So if you wanted to stay true to the Harry Potter newspapers, you can make any of these GIFs black and white. Okay. Now the kids may have trouble finding one that's black and white, but if you want to do an example of it, you could. Okay. All right, let's look here. All right, this one is a lot of fun, and I'm going to show you one more way to make GIFs. So this is by Meredith Akers, and the bit.ly is right here for you to see all the details about this. But what she did was she created what she called GIFs for learning. And so she would give them a vocabulary word, they would find the definition, and they would possibly write a sentence depending on what age level. And then like this one, this is a little girl twirling, so she made her own animated GIF, and she did it with Screencastify, I think. And then she just wrote a sentence about herself. Lily is twirling because she loves ballet. So let's look here before I show you how to do this in Screencastify. So let's look at a few more examples. You can find all these examples for middle school or high school in the bit.ly here. Let's look at this one right here. I thought she did an excellent job. 4:53 and time is flying. Okay, so this is Sarah, and Sarah likes to jump. So I think it's a great elementary, just way to kind of get some excitement with the kids. Right now she needs a mask on, but that's okay. This is pre-COVID. And then she just writes a sentence and she explains what she was doing, or she makes up something to go along with the picture. Okay. Very creative, very imaginative, gets the kids moving, and they get to use some technology to do something different than just writing the same vocabulary word in a sentence. Okay. So we got a few more. Eating, that was my favorite. Molly is eating goldfish. That could be me. I could do that one. All right, spinning, jumping, more jumping. They like to jump. A lot of jumpers at school. So you get the idea. Now, I'm going to close that out. And I made a slide deck here. Okay, you can use a slide deck or you can create your own. I'm just trying to make things a little bit easier for you. So here's a Giphy vocabulary slide deck. I made it all the same. So, you can make this collaborative so that all of your kids have a slide. They choose one word each or something. Or maybe it's a project where, 4 of them are doing all 20 words that you have, or 10 words or whatever. But what they're going to do is they're going to put the vocabulary word here, type it in, they're going to type in the definition. They're going to describe the motion that they're having inside their GIF that they created. And then they'll insert their GIF. Okay, so now let's go to Screencastify. I want to hold on that. I'm going to do it kind of in reverse here. So my daughter, I grabbed her right before this training, and I said, I want you to make a GIF for me. And so what she did was this. So yeah, so her head's a little chopped off. It could use a little bit of work, but I wanted to show you how this works, okay? So let's look at this one more time. So she's acting scared, okay? So actually petrified. Now, towards the end, she looks down at the camera, and I want to cut that off a little bit. The beginning, let's look at the beginning one more time. The beginning is perfect. Wide eyes, mouth open, all that good stuff. Now, I'm going to slide this over, and this is just trimming. So if you get the scissors, and you just trim it a little bit, it backs it up. And I'm going to keep it right about there, right about where she cracks a smile there. Perfect. Now, that's what you can do and what the kids can do with Screencastify. So I'm going to save this, trim. And it says, once you do it, it's done. It's a done deal. So I'm like, yes, I'm doing it. Now, notice that was a very short video. Okay, so that should work really well on our Chromebooks. And this is the editor that all the kids have. Now, that is done. And what I want to do, you can also do a more elaborate editor. We don't need that. We don't have to do that here. So what the kids will do is this. They're used to probably doing sharing, like copy shareable link. Instead, they want to go down here to the download button, click the arrow, and they're going to choose export animated GIF. Yep, that's right. So they click on that. And it tells them the size. I would keep the size that they've chosen, that Screencastify has as default. We want to export it. Now it is exporting the GIF. While that's doing that, I'm going to take a little drink here. Okay, now I'm going to download the GIF, okay? So now it's downloading to my computer. This works on a Chromebook, but it's not working on a Chromebook right now. Now let's go back to that Giphy vocabulary. So I can type in right here. I can say, I could say petrified, because she looked petrified to me. Okay. And I can make that centered. All right, because that lets me that's not centered. Okay, now I'm going to take that GIF down here. And if it's on a Chromebook, you go to Insert and you find it in Google Drive. I'm going to bring that up here. And look at that. Okay, size that up nice and neat. And that looks pretty good to me. Okay, and there it is. So now the kids could do that. They could do that in a group, or they could do it collaboratively as a class. You all have ideas. You all are the idea bunch. I'm just kind of sparking that idea for you. Okay, so there we go. So easy to do. Now you all make copies of that. Okay, if you want to play with that, make some copies. That's what it's here for. All right, let's go on down here a little bit. So I showed you the back end of that because I was afraid that I might lose that video if I didn't. But what you're going to do is this. The kids will do this too. You're going to show them how to do this. You're going to click on your Screencastify extension up there. Okay. Now this gets a little wonky with Zoom. Okay. Don't do this while the kids are Zooming. It's going to be a total fail because Screencastify and Zoom like to use the same resources. Okay. Now, if you're going to do like an EduGIF, which I'm going to show you in just a moment, you're going to record your desktop. And you can put the embedded camera in there if you want. Also, did you know this? If you go to show more options, that you can show the drawing tools and you can draw on top of your screen as well. That's a really sweet feature. And that may be something if you're pointing something out to the kids and making a GIF about it. Maybe they don't know where to click, on their Chromebook, and you just show them a short GIF that you made and they can see it 100 times without asking you 100 times. Now, when Tessa did it just earlier, we used the webcam only. Yep. And I turned the microphone off because the GIF didn't need the microphone. And then it will still have a countdown of 3 seconds. They record it. They hit stop sharing. And then it goes to that screen that you saw in the very beginning of when I talked about Screencastify. It's easy to do. You know that we have Screencastify self-paced course if you want to learn more about Screencastify and you haven't used it yet. All right, this is an EduGIF. Jake Miller is the guru on EduGIFs. Now, he is down here in the speaker notes. I have jakemiller.net. And what he did was he did something like this, and I actually created this one. I had all of this national anthem stuff on here, and I had like highlights and different fonts and different colors, and just different spacing and all that. And so I want to show people how to clear format. So it's an easy thing to do, and it's just an EduGIF. It educates somebody how to do something by using a GIF. Here, this is a translate sheet, and you just type in the English word, and it gives you the Spanish, the German, and the Zulu equivalent of that word. That's something that we've done in a previous training. This one I love. Do you know that Magic Rainbow Unicorns is great and fun? All I did here was this was just a slide deck. So one slide was black and white. The next slide was I used Magic Rainbow Unicorns as an add-on. And you can do that. Go right here. And you can go to the Get Add-ons again and play with it. It's called Magic Rainbow Unicorns. It doesn't get any better than that. So try that out, and I just made a GIF out of that. Okay, I know that it's 5 o'clock, and I was really hoping that you'd have a little bit more time to play with things. I'm just going to show you this, and I guess playtime, I hate that, but maybe you can make something, and I would love to see you put it in our Padlet, and I'll show you the Padlet in just a moment. But I want to show you this because I think that you're going to come up with some pretty cool stuff. I made this in a slide deck, and I may have that cloud going the wrong way, but I think there's some science there. So you science people know that lift and drag and all that has to occur. But I want to show you this real quick. Let's see if I can get, I just want to make a new slide. So, all right, here we go. Let me bring that over. I want to show you a few things just so you can kind of get past the learning curve. So when I made this one, my goodness, how many times do I really need to open here? I'm just going to call this demo 4. Okay. Again, I don't need a theme. I need a layout that is blank. And when you see this one, you see that the imagery, the background is static. It's not going anywhere. A few things are moving. I added some clip art to make it a little bit more cartoonish. And then I added my Bitmoji. And this is how your kids can kind of do a stop motion with GIFs. Okay, stop motion, everybody loves that. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So I went to Slide, and I went to Edit Master. Now you can go a different route for this if you want. But I like the Edit Master because after you have placed what you want to place on the Edit Master, it's not going to move anymore. So you don't accidentally click on it and all that stuff. So I'm going to select all of this and get rid of it. Now, what I wanted to do, and you could do like, a forest scene or a cityscape, or you can do like a mountainscape like I tried, doing. There's all kinds of different backgrounds you can choose from. But I'm just going to go here to Insert, and then Image, and Upload. Oh, I lied. Search the web is what I want. So search the web. Now, I could do it that way. I could also do a right click here and change the background. So I'm just going to do it that way. I think change background is fine. So I go to Choose Image. And this is going to change the background for every single slide and keep it the same. I want that. That's good. So I'm going to go to Google Image Search and choose for mountain, cliff. And, time is getting away from us. So let's just choose this one. That one's pretty cool. I like that. So press Insert. All right, awesome. Now I added some clouds because I wanted that cartoonish effect. So I can go Insert here in Image and search the web. I'll just search for some clouds. I like putting those in there because it gives it a little bit of a 3D depth. I don't want these kind of clouds. I want like clouds that are clip art. And then I can just move them over. And those are huge. So make those a little bit smaller. And I'm going to do Control-C and make a bunch of them. And I'll make them different sizes, just kind of play around, and so forth. You get the idea. I don't want to cover up too much of the cliff there, but okay. Now, so I'm done with that. I'll close this out. And now I'm going to find me that Bitmoji that I had. So I know that all of y'all have Bitmojis. So there's the airplane. So I'll throw it out there. Pick airplane. So when I created it, I just had it going off the side here. Okay. So not even, just a little point. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to duplicate this. And then on the next one, it goes automatically to the second one. I'm going to move it in just a little bit. Then I'll duplicate this again. And you keep on doing that, just moving it in a little bit. So that is stop motion. So then after you get all that done, then you take this slide deck into tall tweets. And I think I used like, I don't know, 0.1 seconds or something. And then after that, you can have something that is cool for the kids to use. They can do stop motion with this. It's just a great way, an easy way to make a GIF. But when you're done and when the kids are done, you know, there's probably 20 or 30 different slides here. They could do this with text if they were spelling something out. Maybe they're just putting one letter at a time, kind of like a typewriter effect. Or maybe they're bringing something in, you know, that's for excitement, and it just kind of gets there all of a sudden and appears. There's a lot of different tricks they can use with this, and I wish I had more time to get into it, but I don't. So what I would love for you to do, two things. I know we're about out of time. I have created a Padlet because I always think that we'll have more time than we do. And I'm going to click right here. I'm going to show you how you can use a Padlet. So if you wanted your kids to, you know, make some GIFs one day, maybe you want to do the vocabulary thing that we showed, and you want to do it, have each student do it one, okay, not a bunch of them, just one, then they can bring that in, okay, as a GIF. So I'm going to open this up. As I click on it and nothing happens. Why did I do that for? So let's just go to Padlet and open it. All right, Padlet has changed a little bit where you don't have as many, you don't get to keep as many Padlets, but I don't have a problem with that because I don't use Padlet all the time. But I thought this would be a nice way to put GIFs. So here it is. I created that earlier today. And yeah, so what I would like you to do is just go to the Padlet. I'll correct the link. Sorry about that, guys. And post a GIF that you created or one that you liked, or add one that has a meme. You know, I showed you a lot of simple different ways of doing it, and some that are very complicated. So what you do, and what you can have your kids do to share all this out, is they go to the pencil. It's a plus sign, turns into a pencil. And they'll just put in their title, which for me was my name. So I'm going to put in Tessa Broyles here. Okay, so it's different. And I'm going to type in the word, let's see, I was petrified. And I saw the lion in its cage. And then they can add a link. Like if they got the GIF and it has a link, they can add that. That's probably going to be if you got it from Giphy or something. But more than likely, they'll go right here to the three dots, and they'll upload that GIF that they created just by clicking on upload. Okay. And there's a bunch of other things that Padlet has added here. But I'd like y'all to do that if you can, if you have time, maybe around this week, maybe later on this week when you try this out. Anyway, it's a good way to share. And I'll correct that link in just a minute. All right, before you leave today, I would love for you to complete a feedback form for me. Yep, it's an evaluation. So if you go into here, and I'll put the link inside the chat as well. There's a feedback form link. And I'll grab that real quick, put it inside the chat if you don't mind filling that out. And it looks like I have a couple of questions, and I will answer those while we're having you fill that out.